90th birthday party. She looks tired today. I'm tired today. Too much partying. And one of the things that I was doing is I was socializing, you know, with everybody that was there. We had a table for St. Luke's. There were 2 tables for St. Luke's, a table for WPI, a table for Framingham State College. My mom's been a resident in Paxton for 65 years. There was that table, Paxton folks. We had a unity table for some folks that are very involved with my mom and helping me care for her. And I went to this one table. It was actually a St. Luke's table. Some folks that, you know, we know way back when I was a kid. And I sat down with this one woman, and she was crying. And she was there with her son and his wife. And his son got all uncomfortable, embarrassed. You know how children are with their parents when they're acting up. Like, Mom, stop it. This is supposed to be a good time. But she's crying. I love this woman very much, known her my whole life. And she's crying over something that happened 5 years ago, where we had seen her at a very sad event in her life. Her youngest son had passed away. We were at the wake. And I guess, and this is nothing against you, Mom. Let me tell the story before you feel bad. I already talked to you about it last night. But she said, you know, your mom said that she would take me to St. Luke's, and she never did. And she's crying. This is 5 years ago. And really upset. And I spent quite a bit of time with her, holding her hand, and I promised her that I wrote her number down, her address and everything. We had lost touch, actually. My brother had the phone number of her son, and that's how we got them to the party. And I said, I promise you, I'm so sorry. You know, I will call you next week. You're going to come to church. Everything's going to be all right. But the point of my sharing this story with you is, how long did she carry that burden? You know, my mom has the same phone number for 65 years. She's listed in the phone book. I'm not saying, you know, she cried about it every day, but it's like, it's something for us to think about. What are you carrying? What are you carrying way past the point when somebody else would have set it down? What is still bothering you? Because that is why we need to look at this power of elimination, this power of release, this power of letting go, renunciation, whatever you want to call it. These toxic states of mind that deplete our very life energy and certainly deplete our joy. I mean, we were all having so much fun, and here's this woman crying. Now, there's a powerful example in the book of Genesis from the Bible in chapter 19, verses 15 through 17 and 26, where it reads, when morning dawned, the angels urged Lot, saying, get up, take your wife and your 2 daughters who are here, or else you will be consumed in the punishment of the city. But he lingered, so the men seized him and his wife and his 2 daughters by the hand, and they brought him out and left him outside the city. So listen to even just this first part of the story, because we always focus on Lot's wife, which we're getting to. But, you know, they're telling him, the city's going to be destroyed, get out, and Lot lingers. That's how much we don't want to change. Or, you know, we resist the unknown, the new. So they seized him and his wife and his 2 daughters, and they brought him out and left him outside the city. And when they had brought them outside, they said, flee for your life. Do not look back or stop anywhere in the valley. Flee to the hills, or else you will be consumed. But Lot's wife behind him looked back, and she became a pillar of salt. So, are we supposed to take this literally? Or does this have a message for us? What is it telling us about our power of elimination? If we're not willing to let go, if we're not willing to set down, if we're not willing to release some toxic state of mind, we become crystallized in that. We become paralyzed, frozen emotionally in that state. Do you know anybody who's living in the past today? who has not been able to move forward? Someone. So they're half crystallized. This part's moving. This part is, yeah, somebody said somewhat. Metaphysically, the story is telling us that Lot's wife's entire being was preserved in that negative state of mind. She missed the precious opportunity to start a new life in a new place. But again, it's speaking to us. How many of us have not been able to move forward? Not been able to move past the pain of events in our history, have gotten stuck there. Basically, the power of elimination has two primary functions for our mental well-being. First, there is to release all the negativity. To release whatever we define as negative. Because in truth, is there any negative? In the world, what do we say? All is good. God is everywhere present. God is absolute good. So what? All is well. But we live with duality, with polarity. We see things as right and wrong. We live in the third dimension, so we name things good, we name things bad. And so if we're naming something bad, it's having an effect on our mental well-being and our physical well-being. And if we cling to that, then we get stuck in it. The second function of the power of elimination is to make space, to make room. You've got to let go of something, right, in order to make space for something new to come in. Almost like a vacuum. Charles Fillmore said, thoughts occupy space. So I have to take out the old thoughts, right? Clear out the clutter, clean up the mess, and create a passageway for the new thought, the new truth to enter in. It's what Jesus meant in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 9, verses 16 through 17, when he said, no one sews a piece of unshrunk cloth on an old cloak. For the patch pulls away from the cloak, and a worse tear is made. Neither is new wine put into old wineskins, otherwise the skins burst, and the new wine is spilled, and the skins are destroyed. But new wine is put into fresh wineskins. So both are preserved. So are you hearing the teaching in that? What is he saying? You know, you come to a unity church, and all of a sudden you start to receive all these new thoughts, all these new beliefs, these new ways of thinking and being. But if you're clinging to the old, if you're like, well, I'm not going to stop believing what I believed. I'll listen to your new thought. It's really new thought, your new belief. I will take that in, but I'm still going to keep the old. What's going to happen? If you can't contain both at the same time. You have to be willing to, you're going to burst. You have to be willing to let go of the old beliefs. Set it aside. I love what Emily Cady says. You can always pick it back up later. She tells you right at the beginning of Lessons in Truth. You may not agree with everything I'm going to teach you or what I'm going to say to you. Set it aside. You can pick it up again. I like to do that sometimes in meditations. You know, where all those thoughts are preoccupying your mind. Just say to them, I'll get back to you. I'm going to take a minute to place my attention on God. I love, we were talking about this in one of our classes recently with Emmett Fox, right, Lois?
Yes.
About the golden key, and somebody said, what's the golden key? I keep moving away from the mic. What's the golden key? The golden key that Emmett, it's a wonderful pamphlet. We bought them out of the store. You can't get them now, I don't think, right, Jen? You have to order some more. Did you get more?
We get more.
Yeah.
Emmett Fox gives this easy formula of what to do. If you're thinking about something negative, if you're thinking about something that's upsetting you or worrying you or concerning you, what you do instead is think about God. Every time. And God, when you say, well, what's God? And think about the guy up in the sky with the gray beard? No. Think about God thoughts, these truth principles, this new way of being. And then when you find yourself sliding back into the worry and the concern and the misery and the pessimism, return to thinking the new way. You can't hold both thoughts simultaneously. So that is the golden key. And of course, where am I? Oh, I want to talk about what happens when folks come into unity. You know, a lot of times people get really excited about all this wonderful news that we're sharing. Gospel means the good news. And so we're sharing it in a new way, in a way that we can maybe more easily apply to our lives now. It's not something we have to wait until after we die to get to heaven, to reap the treasures and the rewards. And so people come in with a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of excitement. But then something that I see happen over and over again with folks, because I've been in Unity for, I guess it's about 20 years now, starting in 1994, that's 20 years, right? Is that as soon as difficulties come up in their lives, what happens? They start to lose faith, lose hope. What Carmen was talking about before when she said to her daughter, all you need to do is wash your face and have faith. You know? But is that easy to do? When you're in the midst of an apparent crisis. I want to go to the school and the money's not there. What do you mean wash my face and have faith? But only through the practice of the principles and adhering to them through the rough times do you really get that. I always want to say to people when things start to, hit the fan, when we talk about the power of elimination, I didn't say it. Some of you, when we're going out today, will say, I can't believe you said that word. I didn't say it. I just said hit the fan. And they say, don't do that. They teach us in seminary, don't give people any visual imagery that is upsetting. And I just did it. But where was I? But you want to say to folks when it's getting really rough and it's getting really scary, just hold in there. You're on the precipice. It's like being on the edge. And if you can just wait, what's happening is probably one of the biggest breakthroughs of your life. The good is there. And it's like when the negative and the old ways break up, it can feel like an earthquake. It can feel like the worst time in your life. And really, you're just going into another paradigm,